Hi there, it's Pat Williams from TKO. Today I'm going to show you some new features of the software. This is April 26, 2022. So these are the new features I've been working on lately, which will greatly improve your ability to edit documents, and also some new features with forms. So let's get into it. So here we have a site, TKO site, which has got some documents in it, and you'll see we've got, if I click on a document, we've got content in them. So what I wanted to show you is the new editor. So whenever you go to edit now, you can obviously use this edit link here or this one here. If it's an empty document, you'll have this caption here. So we'll just click on open editor. Now this is the big change. So in the past, what would happen, you'd go into the back end of the site, take you away from this front end, quite messy. So now you've got this. It's a very nice editor, very Word-like in its appearance. So obviously from here you can start typing or editing your content. And it has some amazing features in it too, which I'll get to later in regard to camera capture, etc. But let's just run through the editor. The editor is a very, standard editor. This is how we do a procedure. You type away, do whatever you need to do, or you can begin with some templates to get you started. So we've got this template button here, and you can pick from your own templates. So that templates, by the way, are you might have designed a layout that you want to reuse over and over again. So you can choose from them here. There's some standard ones that come with TKO, but as I said, you can create your own. So I'll just, for this example, I'll use this one. And so that brings in a template. Obviously we could have written our own content there and then, but so this is a document we're creating. One of the other features that's nice in the system is that the ability to do flowcharts and diagrams. This is much better in this new front-end editor. So if I wanted to put a flowchart in here, for instance, I simply click on the diagram button, and it pops the diagram maker and flowchart, and you can just grab shapes and drag them across, and you can join them up. You can put text in those shapes, blah blah blah. You can pretty well do anything, change their color, their format, resize them, add extra shapes coming off the side like that. Also you can actually, if I just delete that, I can also bring in some of the template designs, and there's lots of templates, so you can come in here and you can just pick one of the template layouts that you might like. Let's say we go with that one, and we bring that in. And see, these are all give you a starting point, and then you just click save. And there's your diagram. Now if you want to edit that diagram, you've got two ways to do it. When you click on edit, it'll pop up and say what do you want to edit. If you want to adjust the diagram and change the diagram, you would click on diagram, or if you just want to alter the size of the image, you might choose this one, and you just might go update. Or if you want to change the diagram itself, you just click on that, and that brings up the diagram maker, and you can make your changes to that. So these are great for doing diagrams and flowcharts, etc. And that updates. So that's that. That has been there before, but it's just easy to use now. Also, we've got the template which I've described, where you can import documents in from our library, or you can bring in some of your templates. Done that. Also, you can insert forms. So for instance, if I wanted to put a form in here, I would just click on insert form, pick the form that I want to insert, and I'll just go insert. And you notice it's created this kind of shortcode here, which is a Gravity Forms plugin that we use, which is fantastic for doing forms. So if I now save that, it'll give me choices of, do I want to publish it? do I want to make it a draft, pending, revision or template? Now publish is straightforward. That means it's going to be visible to all your staff, but you may want to make it draft so that it's not visible, pending, similar thing. Revision's an interesting one because that means you can save this as a revision for use later on when you approve the revision. So the beauty of doing that is you can have the same the current document up on the site without being affected, and then when you're ready to apply the revision you can. And the bottom one is great too. If you design a nice document and you think, well, you could reuse this in the future, well, you can save it as a template as well. And by doing that, then that would appear over here in this list of my templates. So you can sort of build your own library of reusable documents. So let's say we're happy with that. We just go publish and we save. As always, it always asks you to do you want to notify anybody? And I'll say no. And there's our document. And notice how it's now loaded the form because we inserted that form code in there. So there's now actually a form in there, but along with the form, it's also got the document as well, as we've done down below. So if we went in there now and clicked edit, brings that up, but let's say we wanted to get rid of the form. So I just highlight that bit of code and then I save. But let's say this time I save it as a revision. So this is not going to change the front end because as you can see the front end document still has the form in it. But if I scroll down to the bottom, I will see under revisions that there's a pending revision. And that's the document that we just took the form out of. And as you can see, this one doesn't have the form in it. So if we're happy with that, we can even edit it here too, by the way. But if we're happy with approving that revision, we just click there. And now what that's going to do is apply this particular modification to the front document. So now, as you can see, the form, we're looking at the published document and the form's no longer in there. So that's the beauty of using revisions. And if you go down to the bottom too, at the bottom you'll see that there are no more pending revisions, so they've all been taken care of. By the way, when that revision gets approved, notifications go out to the author and the admin about the revision being applied. So keep some notifications. Now that's one area. So we've got that. The next area we've changed is in forms, and we've now got a tab called awaiting completion. And the idea of this is if you have a form which has save and continue later applied to it as a property, which you can do that via the actions area. So at the moment this one has save and continue on the form, whereas by default it's actually turned off, but if you do want save and continue you will see that link. So the way this works is, let's say we fill out this form, but we're not ready to complete it, and we might go, right, Fred Nurk, and you caught up and you say, oh, I'm not ready to complete this. So you would just go save and continue later. Click that. The form's now clear so that it can be used over and over again, but waiting for completion now has this entry, which is the one we just filled out. And as you can see, all it's got in it is Fred Nurk. But now you might put in, start filling in all of the details. And you can do this as many times as you like, by the way, because you can still keep going save and continue because you may not be ready. So this form is still now in waiting completion. But this time you go through and you go, yeah, I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to put a signature there and I'll go submit. Oh, and it's reminding me that there were certain things that needed to be filled in. And let's do that. And I'll say it's parental leave. Now what's happened now, we've filled the form and submitted it, and notifications have now gone out. Now notifications by default go out to the administrator, but in your section, your form editing area, you can set up multiple notifications to go out. So that's how waiting completion works. Now where that's different to the original is that in the past, if we use the wait the save and continue, it would always occupy this front screen until you got rid of it. So in other words, in the old system, if you fill this out and partially complete it, press save and continue, it would keep popping up for you to complete that form. Whereas now it allows you to move on just by putting it in this queue here for you to come back to later. So you can have as many in the queue as you like. Okay, so that's it. The next step, the next feature that I'd like to show you is the improvements to the editing while on a mobile device. So what I'll do, I'll just create a kind of mobile look here so that we can give you a feel for how this looks. So basically we're on a mobile, let's say we're on a mobile device now. And what I'll do, I'll just go back to one of the SOPs, policy and procedures, or the standard operating procedures, depending on what you call them. So I'll click on edit, and I'll just show you the editor now. See how the editor is different, because what it's realized is that we're now on a mobile device, so it doesn't want to overcomplicate the screen, so it's just got the basic stuff in there, so that you can, you could be sitting in a dental waiting surgery for an appointment with a dentist or a doctor, and you want to do a bit of work while you're spending 20 minutes, half hour or so doing nothing. So you can get in here and actually make changes to document quite easily now. So it's a very easy to use editor. So this is how it looks. And by the way, when you're using it in this mode, you'll see this camera button here too. And the great idea with this is that while you're on your mobile device and you wanted to, pull up, let's say, include a video, you could basically come in here and start recording a video and have it inserted into your document. So it's great for doing visual policies and procedures, and a lot of people are doing that now. They're starting with the video and recording, this is how we do blah blah blah, and they're doing the video first, then they're extracting the text from it, which you can do, by the way. There's little tricks on how to extract text from video, so you can basically record a video of a process and narrate it as you're filming the video, and then have it decipher that later on. So this is just a very simple thing. You still got all your features, diagram, etc. And when you go save, you've got the same features there. So editing via a mobile device, much easier. And obviously this is showing what it would be like on a Galaxy S20 phone. But you would be able to see, different, let's look at it. This is how it would look on an iPad. With iPads, they've got a bit more space on them, so you'll find that the normal starts looking a bit normal in terms of the editor. So, it's just a much easier kind of layout for using when you're using the editor. And that pretty well covers it. I hope that's very clear. Everybody who'd like to, it's just a little tweak we've got to do on your site to get this up and running. But like your feedback on it, but I'm sure you'll find it much easier to use in terms of quickly getting in and editing content. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.